for the next session. And in the coming session, there are 4 presenters. So Dr. Law, Dr. Fong, Dr. Wong, and Dr. Yao. Okay, perfect. And you may start sharing your screen when you're ready. Okay, perfect. So please go ahead when you're ready.
Hello. Yeah, am I heard?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Right. Yes, thank you very much for coming to our presentation. The title is Thematic Analysis of Undergraduate Students' Perceived Learning Transfer of Academic English. Okay, and there are 4 presenters. Our project leader is Dr. Natalie Fong, and then our course coordinator is Parker Wong, and core team is Alice Yao, and then myself, the research assistant, Lockie. Okay, so here is our presentation structure. Basically, we will start with introduction and background, followed by review of literature on learning transfer. Then we're going to introduce our core university English courses, and then methodology, findings, and discussions will be broken down into 2 parts, and conclusion followed by Q&A. And I'll start with the introduction and background. So for our project aim, basically, we want to investigate students' perception on the learned skills they find transferable in our CAES 1000 core university English course, which is a general academic English course. And then as well as the English interdiscipline courses, that one would be the specific academic purposes courses. Okay, and then we want to look at the extent of the transferability. The second point is we want to identify areas for improvement in our CUE and ED curriculum development in order to improve the academic English literacy of our students in Hong Kong U. Right, we have 2 project deliverables. First one is to develop better teaching and learning materials for the courses that is involved in this project. We also want to develop a framework for the undergraduate course review, as well as to prepare for the evaluation of learning transfer in the main round of our study. Right, I'm going to continue with the review of literature on learning transfer. So for the definitions of learning transfer, basically, it is fairly consistent across many disciplines, such as psychology, education, and human resources development. So first one on the left, we have a quote by James. And okay, so learning transfer, according to him, is the influence of prior learning in new situations. Whereas for the one on the right, it's defined as transfer occurs when people make use of prior experience to address new challenges. Right. And to elaborate a little bit more, we have a quote from Haskell. So for him, the learning part is the prerequisite of transfer. And then learning is also the acquisition of knowledge and skills in some given context, right? Then transfer, on the other hand, is the recognition and the application of the learned knowledge and skills from different contexts to new situations, as demonstrated by our little meme on the left side. So we have a kitty who is standing right behind the yellow one, and for that he is learning. And after that, he came back with a fishing rod to fish in the bucket, and that is transfer, because that is exactly what applying the skill in different situation really means. Right. So there are two definitions. Two subset of transfer. There's the near transfer and the far transfer. Also, for near transfer, it usually takes place in situations which exhibit great similarities, and for far transfer, usually that takes place in situations where are very different. Right. And then for teachers, right? What can we do to sustain the transfer in the EAP instruction? Well, then there are two ways that we can try, attempt to do that. First one is by Professor Alan Havila, who says that to help students acquire reading and writing skills that they can apply or transfer to future source-based writing contexts beyond the writing course. And then the second one is, can you actually teach the students to synthesize the skills, and then so that when they learn the skills in the reading and the writing classes, they can apply them and then synthesize multiple sources in their research paper. Right, so I'm going to pass the floor to Alice, who will introduce the COE course to you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Lockie. So let me talk about the context of this project. So CES 1000 is an EAP course for 2,400 first-year Hong Kong U undergraduate students in each academic year. It is compulsory for students with level 3 and 4 in DSE English, while optional for students with level 5 or above in DSE English. So it is a stepping stone from secondary school English to university English, and helps students to use academic English more effectively in their university studies, which include their first year common core courses and English in the discipline courses in their second, fourth year. And CES 1000 aims to enhance students' proficiency in academic English by introducing them to aspects of speaking, writing, reading, and listening, which cross disciplines, but are of an academic register. So in CES 1000, students will learn how to identify and distinguish between main arguments and supporting details, express a critical academic stance through critical reading and listening, construct clear and structured arguments with skillful integration of academic sources, and demonstrate control of grammatical accuracy and lexical appropriacy. So let me talk about the methodology of this project. In this learning transfer project, we collected 2 rounds of identical in-class e-surveys with CES 1000 students in the middle and at the end of second semester in 2018 and 19. The quantitative data were published in an article by Dr. Lockie Law and Dr. Natalie Fong. The focus of our presentation today is on the qualitative data. We conducted 5 focus groups of 11 CES 1000 Common Core students. And then prior to the interviews, we also asked the students to write a short reflection about their experience of learning transfer. We adopted Brown and Class 2006 6 phases of thematic analysis to transcribe the data and also analyze them. So these are the emerging themes from the data. And then they are formulating a stance through critical reading, citing other people's work probably to avoid plagiarism, synthesizing ideas, arguing for position using academic sources, using signposts to connect ideas, and structuring an essay or report coherently. And now I'm going to discuss them in detail using the related extracts. So in the area of reading, students show that, how they have applied reading skills they learned in CES 1000 to Common Core courses. So in this extract, the student expressed difficulty in elaborating his or her ideas in writing. The problem could be due to the fact that they don't really know how to use the information from the reading sources. In CES 1000, we teach students the crucial role of reading and reading for writing approaches, including how to find relevant sources and read efficiently using mining and writerly reading to locate relevant ideas to support their writing. The student in this extract found these skills useful because they're required to read a lot and conduct their own research before writing in their Common Core courses. In the area of speaking, students have learned how to formulate source or evidence-based arguments instead of just relying on their personal opinions. Students may be aware of using appropriate evidence from sources and citations to back up their arguments in writing, but they didn't realize the importance of these skills in their academic speaking. So in CES 1000 speaking classes, we teach them how to use sources and oral citations. And then in the second extract, it is interesting to learn that the students need debating skills. Maybe in the Common Core tutorial, students are required to debate on certain topics, showing how they could improvise and respond to challenging questions as a kind of participation. In CES 1000, we do teach students how to critically respond to others' questions and stance, but not in a format of a debate, but a group discussion. And then in the area of writing, students show how to express a critical stance and structure their essay coherently. In the first example, the student expressed that he or she used to develop one-sided arguments and wasn't even aware of the possibility of including counter arguments in a problem solution report. In CS 1000, we teach students the concept of criticality by thoroughly considering multiple sides of an issue. This could enhance students' critical thinking and strengthen the arguments in an essay and solutions in a report. And then in the second example, the students used to focus on linking between ideas in a paragraph. We teach students the connections between paragraphs through topic sentences, for example, linking back to the previous paragraph while introducing the present paragraph. The student found this skill very important as it improved the cohesion along the essay. Students were also asked to share with us some specific written examples of their learning transfer. And as you can see in this example, the student has learned how to formulate a stance, integrate evidence, and do citations orally to support the stance in CS 1000, and apply them when giving presentations in their Common Core courses. In a second example, we can see even for stronger students, although they may have good writing skills, they also encounter difficulties in citing properly and structuring a coherent academic essay. As mentioned before, CAES 1000 aims to help students develop academic skills needed for their university. And this example is a clear evidence of how CAES 1000 has bridged the gap with their Common Core courses and faculty courses. And then in this example, the student has done some self-reflection on the skills lacked in the previous assignments and was able to witness the improvement after taking CAES 1000, as reflected from the expressions. For example, like the course, has put the student in a better position. And now in this semester, the student have overcome the problem. We have discussed some reflection of students' learning transfer experience. To facilitate this process, there's actually a lot of work, from the team. So now I pass the floor to Natalie, and she will talk about how to promote learning transfer in class.
Thank you, Alice. After investigation of students' perception of learning transfer in CAES 1000, the project team thought that we really need to investigate teachers' perception and their, especially their strategies of the promotion of learning transfer within the classroom, because it's actually the teachers themselves to deliver the class and to disseminate the key concept of learning transfer to our students. Actually, we conducted the e-survey with the CAES teachers, with all CAES teachers last December. Let me show you some key findings. The previous slide, please, Lockie. Yes. All right. Let me take you through to some good practice of promotion of the learning transfer in class. Some of the program coordinators and class teachers shared their thoughts with us, and let me select some of the key findings with all of you. They thought that peer feedback and teacher-student consultation seem to have worked in raising awareness. So they have used a lot of peer feedback section and teacher-student interaction or consultation within the classroom to disseminate the knowledge and also the concept of learning transfer with the students. And some of the program coordinators suggested that they asked students to identify the types of assignment they expected to do in the Common Core or faculty courses. And within the classroom, they asked them to highlight the connections between the skills, the tasks that they have learned and that they have applied. Okay, all right. In the e-survey, teachers, CAES teachers were asked how they encourage the teaching team to introduce the concept of learning transfer to their students. Let me take you through to some direct quotes. This teacher said, highlighted the importance of concept learning transfer to all course teachers and then sent a reminder to them what they should talk about during the semester. So especially in the preterm course meeting or during the course meeting, we should clearly indicate the course ethos to all the team teachers, especially the new teacher, and explain to the teaching team that why students need to take our ED course, or we call English in the Discipline course, or EAP, ESP courses. All right, another question we asked in the e-survey, how they encourage the teaching team to introduce the concept to learning transfer more effectively. And let's have a look at the other two direct quotes. They use reflection activities and sharing of students. So within the class, they ask students to do some verbal reflection or written reflection to articulate their understanding of learning transfer and how they would apply the learning skills into their other learning contexts, say, for example, faculty courses or other learning contexts. And the program coordinators, let's have a look at the right-hand side, the right box. One of the program coordinators suggested they told the teachers to explain or reiterate the notion that they learned in the course, how the students could apply to future courses and to the workplace related tasks. Okay, more suggestions from the program coordinators. They will ask students to actually articulate how they apply the skills, and they will try to understand more about the students' disciplines, all right, their discipline-specific subjects, what they have learned in their faculty. And also, they will raise teaching teams' awareness of the important role of learning transfer in student learning. Especially, they design lots of in-class activities to enable students to do the practice. They also introduced the course ethos more clearly, especially during the pre-term course meeting or during the course meeting to the new teachers. And they will also organize more reflection activities, either verbal or written, and enable students to share among, the classmates about their experience of learning transfer. And they offer more examples of learning transfer to students. In particular, ask them how to do it and what they could transfer. Okay, when asked how they support the students to help them be more aware of learning transfer in the university, let's have a look at these three quotes. In particular, I would like to talk about the last one, the yellow one, the one in the yellow box. I like this approach very much. This program coordinator ask students to point out the similarities and differences in ways certain skills that apply in various areas, say, for example, reading, speaking, or writing. And they should actually verbally articulate the reasoning in order to help them how to rationalize the application of skills into other learning contexts. Okay, there's some other good practice shared by the program coordinators. They may use the authentic materials. They also clearly remind the students that the skills acquired in class are not merely for English language. And they should also learn how to apply the skills in other English-mediated academic classes. Okay. All right, let me pass the time to Dr. Paco Wong. He will talk more about how we are going to revamp the course in order to address the teachers' feedback.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalie. Next slide, Lockie. Well, to raise students' awareness of learning transfer, teachers are constantly reminded to emphasize the interrelationship between CAS 1000 and Common Core courses. And previous research shows that most students tend to have serious problems in source-based writing. Students are not able to transfer what they read to their own writing. This leads to a lot of writing problems. So to solve this, we produce a reading for writing RFW component in our COE course. We expect that students will transfer the reading and writing skills to satisfy the academic needs in other university courses, that is the Common Core courses. There are 3 steps. So now, first, we highlight the critical role of reading. We ask students to recall, to describe, and explain the reading problems they have. We try to tell students that academic reading is very, very crucial. It is the key to their academic success. Now, then we invite students to explain to us how they read or how they extract information from a text. We also recommend 3 critical reading strategies to students based on the research findings of Havela 2019. So now, the 3 critical reading strategies include the first one, mining. It is about how we read with a clear purpose in mind and how we can locate relevant information efficiently. Next slide. And then the second approach is writerly reading. It is about how we achieve quick reading through making prediction or anticipation and how readers take up the persona of a writer. Next slide. And approach 3, modeling. It is about what we should do and what we should not when we're reading. It is about expectation, that is how a writer matches the expectation of readers or the academic conventions. So 3 approaches here. Okay, now, the last step is in-class writing practices. Students apply the reading strategies they have learned into their writing practices. Here, we just focus on summary writing because of the time limitation. Next slide. So now in week 12, that is the end of the semester, students are given a chance to talk very explicitly about how they can transfer the reading for writing skills of this EAP course to other Common Core courses. This is to ensure that students are fully aware of the learning transfer, this very important pedagogical goal. So now the pilot study of this learning transfer project in CS1000 was completed, and the main round, the main study was also done. So now, based on the data collected in from the main study, we're going to analyze the findings and improve the course materials and also our pedagogy. At the moment, we are producing a learning transfer video, hoping that we can raise students' awareness of this pedagogical concept and goal. Now, here are some screen captures of the video. So the voiceover of our colleagues try to draw students' attention to the concept of learning transfer. They also briefly explain what learning transfer is. Then we invited 4 former CUE students sharing the experience, how they can successfully transfer what they learned in the CUE course to some other university courses. Okay. So now, if you want to know more about learning transfer and the mechanism we have used to measure learning transfer, you can reach the paper published by Dr. Lockie Law and Dr. Natalie Fong. You can also refer to the references on the left. Okay, and this is also the end of this presentation. We hope you like that. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. And we'd like to invite some questions from the audience, please. You may either click on the raise hand icon or you can type your questions in the chat room. Thank you. Did we have a hand up? I think.
Hi. Is there time for questions?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi. My name is Radhika. I'm from the Singapore Institute of Technology. I'm curious, this study was done for arts and humanities students, am I right?
Actually, the students are from different disciplines.
Oh, I see. So that includes the STEM disciplines as well?
Yes, science, engineering.
Okay. Did you find any differences in the way that they transferred, specifically, I mean?
Actually, CS1000 is a general for English for academic purposes course. We think that if the students are from the technical background or professional background, like medical, nursing, dentistry, they may see they may need to see the relevance of the this general EAP course and the discipline course maybe less direct. Okay, but for some general course like humanities course, general science or social science course, students could see the relevance. Yeah.
Okay.
The skills from EAP course to their faculty courses.
Yeah. I have one more question. Yeah, I think you mentioned it, like, you ask them about how they do their reading, how do they extract information and so on. So I see this as a kind of scaffolding, because you need to scaffold the whole process of transfer, right? I mean, students wouldn't, otherwise they're not conscious of the fact that, yes, I'm learning this in order to be able to use it in my content learning. So is there anything further that, you could share with us? I mean, in terms of what we can do to scaffold this, making it obvious for them so that they're aware of what they're learning it for and how do they apply it?
Thanks for your question. That's a very good question. Actually, it's very challenging to actually teach or instruct students how to have a better equip themselves with good reading strategies. So that's why we, as Dr. Parker Wong presented in the presentation right now, we design lots of in-class activities to raise the awareness of the importance of reading into their writing, how to integrate the reading strategies into their writing. Okay. I think we provide students with lots of in-class practice like interaction, discussion, and exercise, all right, in the class, all right, to their awareness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Again, feel free to type your question in the chat room, or you may simply raise your hands, turn on your microphone, your camera, and ask the question directly.
Hello, I just want to shamelessly promote this next presentation by our other program coordinator, Colin. And so tomorrow we have the one that is for English in the disciplines. So for those of you who are interested in how learning transfer is carried out, or what they feel about learning transfer, in the arts and humanities courses. Now, tomorrow at Hong Kong time, 12:10, we have this next presentation. So that's all. Yeah, thank you.
Lockie, can you say something about our published paper? I got a message from one of the participants. She would like to know more about our published paper.
Okay.
The last slide. The published one.
Oh, the published. Okay. So should I share that
Yes,
slide?
the last one.
Okay. So sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see? Can everybody see this?
Yes. GEAP.
Yeah. So, well, basically, this is a quantitative analysis, and we borrow this special algorithm or technique from basically human resources. It's called partial least squares structural equation modeling. And what happens is we are able to use this approach and to look to find connections between students' learning. So I think I have something like this one. So yeah, well, a lot of numbers, but basically we focus on the 4 blue bubbles, and basically the thicker the black lines means the stronger the connections are. So we look at CR, content relevance, which is the how relevant our course is to their common core courses. And we look at understanding of learning, how students perceive their level of understanding. We look at transfer or applicability, and then we also look at what they think about outcomes. So basically, we use the e-survey data and are able to find out these connections. So as you can see, the thick lines are mostly coming from content relevance, and so that is that's a key construct that drives the whole learning and transfer for students. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So we have another minute or so left in the session. Are there any other questions from the audience? Would the presenters have anything else to elaborate on?
I think learning transfer is always overlooked or neglected by students. So from teachers' perspective, we should promote this concept to our students. First of all, we need to understand student disciplinary background and help them how to actually apply what they have learned into practice, and to promote the concept of transferring the skills from one context to another. I think that's very important, because no matter it's EAP or EAP course, it's not a standalone course. We would like students to use the skills into other learning contexts. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so I think that's it. And that's all the time we have for this session. The next session will, let's see,